Good morning and happy Thanksgiving weekend, all you beautiful souls who are gathering here at the Throop Zoom. Just a few reminders as we get started. You'll be on mute for most, but not all of the service. We encourage you to use the chat throughout the service to connect with one another, continue to develop friendships. And if anybody is joining us today for the first time, we send you an extra special welcome. We're really glad you're here. And in just a few minutes, I'll put a link to our newcomer sign up in the chat. We would love to stay in touch with you after service today. So all of you come in to our online space of hope and love, of peace and justice, of wholeness and healing. Come in where we welcome the certain and the seeking, the lifers and the newcomers, the beloved and the brokenhearted. All of you can find a home here at Throop, where we go love the world from the heart of Pasadena and from the very heart of our homes. You are logging in today on this first Sunday of Advent, where we enter into Throop's season of light. This month of December is a time when night embraces us, where we are invited to explore all the gifts that this extra darkness has to offer this time of year. Christians enter into Advent today. Next week, our Jewish friends will begin 8 nights of Hanukkah. Later on in the month, our earth-centered and pagan-minded friends will be honoring the winter solstice. And we hold each of these observances tenderly and reverently as we seek our own wisdom and deeper understanding from them. For the next little while, I encourage you as much as possible to set aside any outside distractions and to slowly turn toward one another as we move across the threshold into our sacred space together. The words for our chalice lighting are shared by Taryn this morning.
Our time together in worship is intimately connected with our daily lives. As a symbol of that connection, we light 3 flames this morning. We light our home chalices in a spirit of love, hope, and peace with these words. As we kindle this flame, we remember that in darkness there is light. May this light illuminate love in our hearts, joy in our friendships, hope for the future, and peace in the world. We light a second candle to honor the people and ancestors whose lands we now occupy. The land under and around Throop was once and still is the home of the Tongva people. May this knowledge and awareness lead us into seeking justice and equity for all. We light a third candle, symbolizing our hopes and bearing witness to injustices in the world. We take a moment of silence, holding all of these in our hearts.
And as we hold all of those things in our hearts, we also continue to turn intentionally toward one another in a time of Sunday morning greeting. And please continue welcoming one another in the chat box. For myself, this is always a great time to move into gallery mode so I can see more of your beautiful faces all at once on the screen. Hello, I am waving at you. Yes. And please take a minute, just drink in everybody's presence here and continue to welcome each other warmly in the chat. And if you see a new face or name to you on the screen, it's also a nice opportunity to just send them a special hello and welcome to Throop. Earlier, I saw the name of one of my very longtime friends from Emerson UU, Brian. And if you are indeed here, it is great to have your presence. Brian's written a beautiful book of meditations that's published by the UU Publishing House, Skinner. I encourage you to check that out. And over in the chat, Melanie's making blueberry muffins for us. What time are we safely meeting outside of her place to get our muffin? Melanie, you can just put the time in the chat and I'm sure we'll all be there with masks on and hand sanitizer. Erin says, hello, welcome, 3 hours from the future. We have a time traveler with us today. He's in Florida. Francis invites Erin and all of us to have a glorious afternoon. Brian sending his own gratitude for a personal thank you. Paula says good morning to her Throop community. Yes, indeed. Well, I hope you all had a meaningful, full, and rich Thanksgiving weekend. If you want to share some of your favorite items from the Thanksgiving table, you can do that in the chat. And just a reminder, we affirm everyone's choices of what their favorites are here. We don't marsh anyone's mallow, as we say in the camp community. So as we continue to greet one another, we turn toward words that serve as a connecting thread for us at Throop, and that's our promise to our planet. And as you're able to gently unmute yourself, please let's share these words together. As members of the
Family of living beings on earth, we are guided by the universalist principle of respect for the interdependent web of all existence, of which we are a part. With hearts filled with love for it, souls nurtured by its beauty, and minds ruminating on ways to protect its sacred and scarce resources, we promise to nurture the well-being of all life and the planet
itself. Now, isn't that a good mindfulness practice of being able to stay focused on what you're saying as you hear everybody else at a different point and saying the same thing? Well, this planet and her people are so tender and precious to us. Each week we promise to nurture the well-being of all life. And all too often we're confronted with great pain and suffering that we humans inflict on one another. The reading, the words of blessing that you're about to hear from Jan Richardson, it was written as an Advent blessing, but right after the attack on the Pulse nightclub in Orlando. Too many times we here have gathered together in the midst of that great pain and suffering, just doing the best we can to hold one another through it. And Richardson wrote a few words about this poem. She said, "It is a new week, and I enter it with trepidation, wondering what news the coming days may hold. I enter it with wild and stubborn hope, praying we will, in the best possible ways, become even more ourselves." And thank you, Lynn Sexton, for sharing the words of this blessing. And Lynn, you might still be muted. There you are.
We'll try that again. Blessing when the world is ending. Look, the world is always ending somewhere. Somewhere, the sun has come crashing down. Somewhere, it has gone completely dark. Somewhere, it has ended with the gun, the knife, the fist. Somewhere, it has ended with the slammed door, the shattered hope. Somewhere, it has ended with the utter quiet that follows the news from the phone, the television, the hospital room. Somewhere it has ended with a tenderness that will break your heart. But listen, this blessing means to be anything but morose. It has not come to cause despair. It is simply here because there is nothing a blessing is better suited for than an ending. Nothing that cries out more for a blessing than when a world is falling apart. This blessing will not fix you, will not mend you, will not give you false comfort. It will not talk to you about one door opening when another one closes. It will simply sit itself beside you among the shards and gently turn your face towards the direction from which the light will come, gathering itself about you as the world begins again.
sweet. It seems very good.
You are where you should be. Here, be still.
During this month of November, our focus has been on mindfulness and stillness. And we've had the gift of different members of Throop sharing some of their own mindfulness practice with us during these Sunday Zooms. Today, I've invited Harlow to share some of his mindfulness practice. Thank you so much. And you might just want to check and make sure you're unmuted. And thank you, Harlow, for sharing with us today.
There we go. So, yes, thank you, Tara, and thank you, everyone. So nice to be here today again with all of you. So, I thought I would just say a few words about my discovery of mindfulness, and then we'll have a brief meditation at the end. So, I'm a relative newcomer to mindfulness and meditation practice. For a few years, I've been taking some courses and have been practicing meditation sporadically. But over the last 9 months during the COVID pandemic, I've returned to meditation more consistently as a way to control anxiety and impatience, feelings that are shared by most of us these days. Mindfulness and meditation have helped me to avoid the ups and downs of dealing with this overwhelming situation over which we have so little control. Accepting things as they are is one of the goals of mindfulness, and accepting ourselves as we are, no matter how difficult or challenging the circumstances. Mindfulness is the basic human ability to be fully present, aware of where we are and what we're doing, and not overly reactive or overwhelmed by what's going on around us. Reactivity is the key. We all continue to have strong emotions and find ourselves in stressful situations. That is life, after all. But what we can control with the help of mindfulness and meditation is how we react to these situations. We don't have to fly off the handle into anger or rage, as I often or sometimes often did. Instead, we can acknowledge the strong feelings we have, but step back from them, look at them from a distance, as it were, and then move on. One of my teachers, Dr. Ali, gave us an image of mindfulness I find particularly helpful. Imagine you are standing at a train station, watching the trains go by. You don't have to get on every train that passes through. Now imagine that your thoughts are like trains, continually passing through your brain. If a negative or upsetting thought passes through, you don't have to get onto it. You can acknowledge its presence, but then let it pass through the station of your mind. One of the misunderstandings about meditation and mindfulness that I shared when I began is the idea that you have to erase your mind of all thoughts. This is impossible. Your mind will always be running. But instead of running along with the thoughts that intrude upon your serenity, you can simply acknowledge them and return to your centered self. This process helps us achieve a sense of equanimity. Equanimity is the state of balance, even-mindedness, a sense of stability and calm amidst the changing nature of life. Equanimity can be cultivated through noticing that things change. This too shall pass. And mindfulness practice in general. Equanimity can seem like dispassion, disconnection, or apathy, but true equanimity is a deeply connected state of mind. We can still be passionate, yet recognize the truth of things as they are. Having equanimity does not make us inactive. We can still engage in actions for justice, but do it from a mind of equanimity. There are two mantras connected with equanimity that I find particularly useful. May I accept things just as they are. May I accept myself just as I am. So now let's take together a minute for a mindful meditation. Find a comfortable sitting position with your feet on the floor. Place your hands on your legs or wherever feels comfortable. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Now take some more breaths. Feeling your mind and body relax. Gently close your eyes if they're not closed already. And now, as you continue to breathe, attempt to cleanse your mind of stressful or upsetting thoughts. If these do occur to you, acknowledge them, but then return to concentrate on your breathing and on feeling your body as it relaxes. If you hear sounds, experience them as part of the natural environment in which you live. Listen carefully to those sounds. Birds, cars. Focus on your breath and sense your muscles relaxing. Relax your shoulders and neck. Breathe. Breathe deeply into a state of relaxed, mindful awareness. Now, gently open your eyes, return to the world, and let's all repeat that mantra. May I accept things just as they are. May I accept things just as they are. May I accept myself just as I am. May I accept myself just as I am. Amen. Thank you.
Find the stillness, hold the stillness, let the stillness carry me. Find the silence, hold the silence, let the silence carry me. In the Spirit, by the Spirit, with the Spirit giving power, I will find true harmony. Seek the essence, hold the essence, let the essence carry me. Help me flower, let me flower, watch me flower, carry me. In the Spirit, by the Spirit, with the Spirit giving power, I will find true
Chris, thank you so much for that. It's a wonderful reminder of how it is possible to find a sense of stillness and peace doing daily tasks of life. I'll also admit when Terry and I ran through the tech yesterday, we were like, Chris, don't cut your hands, whatever you do. And as I watched you sing, I thought, after 9 months of Safer at Home, if I have not found the gift of stillness yet, I may not ever find it. Universe, we got the lesson, okay? Thank you for this opportunity. Can we just please move on now? It feels like so much of our world, our comforts, our traditions are on hold. Quoting that blessing we heard earlier this morning, somewhere the world has ended with a tenderness that will break your heart. We have been so good. We have been so patient. We've followed the rules. We've been waiting for a vaccine, waiting for an election, and now an inauguration, We've been waiting to see our friends and family. We have been waiting to fling open the front doors of our homes and embrace one another. So, you know what? I decided in November that frankly, some things were not going to wait. And I made the bold move of starting my holiday season before Thanksgiving. I know some of you are gasping in horror right now that I would do that. In early November, I turned on the holiday radio station and I put up my little solstice tree at Throop. I have this little champagne colored tree that looks out proudly from my Throop office window. And I love that annual ritual of setting it up, turning on its twinkling lights, unpacking the box of ornaments. I kind of forget year to year exactly what they look like. So each layer becomes a little bit of a surprise. It's like, ooh, these sparkly ones. Oh, these glittery globes. And with each decoration that I carefully lift out of the box, glitter and sparkle swirl around me. And as each one is placed on the tree, memories of past holidays swirl around as well. Certainly, memories of holiday seasons with you, decorating our sanctuary, the way you all have looked in years past at the Christmas Eve service when we turn down the lights and sing Silent Night as your faces are lit up by your Christmas Eve candles. And I'll probably never forget that Sunday last year when the heater stopped working and we were all shivering in our pews that Sunday morning. Thank goodness for Michael Kelly and the campus caretaking crew who got it back on. And then the children creating their Yule logs each December. And we hold memories, I do, of family gatherings at the holidays. This year, especially, my heart and mind just filled up with thoughts of my mom and all the things she did to make this time of year feel special and feel so full of love. For Christians, this Sunday is the first Sunday of Advent. And these next 4 weeks leading up to Christmas are a time of spiritual preparation. Advent comes from the Latin word adventus, which means coming. And this is a time to pause, to read, pray, and reflect on the coming celebration of Jesus's birth. And this morning, our Christian friends are lighting the first candle on their Advent wreath. And today's candle symbolizes hope. Maybe this year, more than any other year, we hold so much hope in our hearts. Hope that this waiting will end soon. Hope that all of us remain healthy and well. Hope that we will be together again. Hope that the wholeness and holiness of each person and being will be lifted up, honored, and celebrated. Poet Jericho Brown wrote about the power of hope. Hope is the opposite of desperation. It's not as comfortable as certainty. It is always accompanied by the imagination, the will to see what our physical environment seems to deem impossible. Only the creative mind can make sense of hope. Only a creative people can wield it. What a beautiful reminder this year. when we are struggling with what is versus what was versus what we wanted things to be. So this year, after my adorable little solstice tree was all decked out in its finery, I stepped back, looked at it, and realized it's actually leaning just a little bit. And I thought, that is so 2020 of you. But I also looked at it, and in addition to the memories it brought up, I realized it held two new editions that were given to me last year by Terry, ones that I kind of forgot about until I opened up that box. And it's two very friendly, glittery little squirrels that now hang out underneath that solstice tree, just waiting for the return of the sun, reminding me that even as things change, our connections with one another continue. From that poem of Blessing by Jan Richardson. The blessing will simply sit beside you among the shards and gently turn your face toward the direction from which the light will come, gathering itself about you as the world begins again. The blessing we receive is hope. Hope during this time when things seem bleak. Hope as we create brand new rituals this year that will then turn into next year's sweet memories. One ritual I'm inviting you into this year is lighting a luminary or a candle each evening. So just one way for us to remain connected even while we're apart. And each evening as you light that candle or luminary, to say these words of hopeful blessing. As we kindle this flame, we remember that in darkness there is light. May this light illuminate love in our hearts, joy in our friendships, hope for the future, and peace in the world. May you continue to gently turn your face toward the light, wielding hope as the world begins again. May it be so.
I believe in the sun. I believe in the sun, even when it's not shining.
I believe in the sun. I believe in the sun, even when it's not shining. I believe in the sun. I believe in the sun, even
So for all of you who support our community, hey, we're gonna see it again. So first of all, if you notice that big, beautiful wreath in the video, huge thanks to Robert Hawley who crafted it. It's actually 5 feet across. It weighs about 20 or 25 pounds. And he figured out the cleverest way to hang it up above the chancel. So Robert, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's so beautiful in person. And thanks to all of you who continue to support our community at Throop through your gifts of time, talent, and treasure. For those of you who do have the means to continue to contribute financially, we thank you so much for that. And you can donate by sending in a check. You can see the donate online and text to give number and info in the screen. And in just a minute, I'll be able to put those in the chat box. In addition, I just put the words for the luminary lighting in the chat. So this week you're going to receive 2 additional ways that you can do end of year giving if you have the ability and choose to. One will be through social media on Giving Tuesday. And then you'll also be receiving an end of year donation request letter at your address. So thank you so much to everyone who made today's service happen. It is truly a team effort. Terry Trindler for jumping on board and pushing all the buttons today and running tech. Thank you so much. Beautiful job. Really appreciate it. For Lynn Sexton for sharing the poem/blessing, Taryn for offering our chalice lighting words, Harlow for sharing his mindfulness practice, and Chris for always finding ways to uplift us and bring us hope through your beautiful music. We share now together our thanks to the offering, and as you can, unmute yourself. For the
ministries of the church in our community, we bless our offering with love and hope.
And hope.
And if any of you did light a chalice or a candle at home, now is the time to extinguish it. But of course, we carry its light with us. We don't want you to wait to connect with one another until next Sunday. There are opportunities to be with one another online during the week, and you can see more about how to connect in that way through our Tuesday tidings and through Facebook and other social media means. Friends, in the coming days, may you remember that the sun still shines even when there are clouds. May you gently turn your face toward the direction of the coming light, keeping hope alive within you as the world begins again. I love you all. Go out and love the world. Amen. Blessed be. Please enjoy our postlude offered by Chris, and then hang out here for casual chat and coffee hour afterward. It's really good to be with you all.
People look east, the time is near of the crowning of the year. Make your house fair as you are able. Trim the hearth and set the table. People look east and sing today. Love, the guest is on the way. Furrows be glad, though earth is bare. One more seed is planted there. Give up your strength, the seed to nourish, that in course the flower may flourish. People look east and sing today. Love, the rose is on the way. Stars keep the watch when night is dim. One more light the bowl shall brim, shining beyond
Thank you. So for those of you who want to hang out for a little bit, please unmute yourself and kind of be together in the chat. And Brian Nelson, thank you so much for coming, old friend. It was really good to have you here. Thanks for popping in today. And Megan, good to see your name in the chat. Hope your family is doing well today. And Jamal, nice to see you. I saw Jamal at Throop yesterday. He was harvesting in the garden and I got to bring home some beautiful red beets. So I know some of you are making potatoes tonight. I think I'll be making beets tonight. Looks like Eric is here from up north. Hello, hello. Very good to see you.
What you doing,
Yes, it turns out that attending service in your kitchen has the problem that if you don't understand your phone on Zoom, you can accidentally hang up. So, so if people send me private messages that I didn't respond to, I'm very sorry. Know that I love you. I'm just phone illiterate.